Hello, this is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Aging Like a Guru. Who, me? Well, today I'm joined with two other people who are aging like gurus indeed, and that's Jennifer Lehr, Lehr, and Mike Bosworth. Hello, you two.
Hi, Rosie.
I'm waving because we're on Zoom, even though you guys can't see. We're
We're zooming.
Today we're talking about marriages, relationships, and what makes a good relationship, especially in the aging process as we're aging. Jennifer and Mike have been together for 10 years. Is that right?
11.
11.
Yeah.
And they're sort of May to September or July to November kind of marriage, and that they're Jennifer's 59 and a half and Mike is 72, so they are about 13 and a half years apart. So hello, you guys. I'll let you talk a little bit about what's it like being married for that long, especially in sort of what we would consider later years of life. It's a big open question.
Well, for me, it's
how's it going?
It's what's it like being happily married? Because I didn't
There
even
you go.
think that was possible
Okay.
until I started seeing a therapist at the age of 61, having been single for 10 years after my first marriage. And I wasn't anywhere closer to being successful after those 10 years. And so about actually 3 months before I met Jennifer in 2008, I started doing some serious work with a psychiatrist. And I don't think, had I done that this would be working.
Great.
Had I not done the work,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So even starting at 61, like it's never too late to start to get
No.
yourself in action about having a great relationship because you
Right.
wanted it. It was important enough to you.
Right, yeah.
And when I see other couples our ages, so many of them just aren't connected. I mean, they're never going to break it up because for whatever reasons, financial or habitual or whatever,
Yes.
but they don't enjoy each other. They don't revel in each other. They don't.
Yeah.
It's sad
Yeah.
to me.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Jennifer?
let me
Being-
think.
Okay.
What do I have to say? Yeah, the age difference is, what's going on with the age difference is that Mike is in a different stage of life than I am. So he's definitely more in going out to lunches and slowing down. And I'm in work mode. I'm like putting all the pieces I've been building for years are now coming together, and I'm ramping it up. I don't have much. So we're in very different places.
Mind spaces.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the bigger challenges. You know, I get disappointed because I want him to help me and he's off having lunch with somebody. And I have to deal with that and go, okay, you know, he's in a different place and his different needs. And, that's, you have to navigate through those things
Yes.
when there's differences.
Yes.
And,
We have to manage our mutual expectations.
Right, and also learn how to bridge differences, because you can easily let resentment, take over.
Yeah.
And destroy a relationship. I mean, people do all the time.
Yep.
So if you aren't on top of weight, the love is more important than, these things that I think should be a certain way, or I have to process. So today I felt abandoned because Mike blah, blah, blah. And then I have to go, oh, but that's, my stuff. That's not really, he didn't abandon me. He's living his life.
Yep.
It just means you have to be sort of in process.
Always.
Always. Yeah.
Yes. One of the first things I learned as I was learning to be a marriage and family therapist it was like a constant mantra. You can be right or you can be in relationship.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And that sucked because I was so about being right.
Yeah, and I grew up in a family where it was about being right.
That's
there was a winner and a loser. So you didn't want to be on the downside. You wanted to be on I'm the right side, which was my mom. That was her thing. So,
Yeah.
So, you have to undo. There's a lot to undo.
That's right. That's right. Because what does it actually mean? Even though, again, I was in training to work with people to look at their righteousness,
Right.
I had no idea what that meant because of the construct, much like you're saying, is the construct of, and Mike, we've talked before about growing up Catholic, the construct of rightness is like so strong. What does that mean to not live in rightness, but live in harmony or live in relationship?
Right.
And
Exactly.
one of the things you've developed, Jennifer, as a psychotherapist and an innovator, is this tool called Weconcile. And tell us a little bit about that. Weconcile,
Concile. It's like reconcile,
WECONCILE.com.
but weconcile.com.
Yeah.
Yes. So Weconcile is an educational platform for couples. And it's extremely in depth. So there are some, there are people now starting to create this kind of thing. I've looked at a bunch of them, and Weconcile is, I've been working on it for 10 years. So it's massive. I mean, it covers, I basically did a lot of training with emotionally focused therapy for couples so that I could understand more about how to systematize working with couples, because I knew if it was going to be an online educational program, it had to be systematized. So you started the people at something basic, and then the next thing they needed to learn, and the next thing they needed to learn, it would build on those steps. And so if you're someone who doesn't have the money for therapy, or you have a partner who won't do therapy, it's a way for people to get extensive help in their relationship with or without a therapist. And so I did it because I was seeing a lot of couples who were not getting the help they needed.
It's more extensive help than anything I've ever seen in my life. Even my own therapy was never as extensive as Weconcile.
Yeah. So it's really, it was a labor of love.
I can tell that. And the intention then is for people who are like, okay, I want to work on the relationship, and hopefully my partner will want to engage with me in this. So I can do this as an individual, or I can hopefully engage my partner, and we can do it at the level that we can work at and the pace we want to work at.
Right. Although it's not set up for individuals right now. It's set up for couples.
Okay, great.
We will eventually get that.
Yeah.
We've had numerous people say, my partner doesn't want to do it, but I do.
So we're going to address that when it's on the to-do list.
Excellent.
And it's going to be Meconcile. If they won't do Weconcile, then you can do Meconcile.
That's great.
You get your own family of origin stuff and work through it.
Right. Great. Yeah. And that, so the reason I bring that up at this point is because the nature, this week I'm like grabbing my head going, oh my God, there's so much going on. But the nature of relationship and the complexity, because of whether it's age related, you're saying, well, here's our differences, but it could be anything that creates that, those differences.
Yep.
Complexity of one's life, one's work life versus one's health and well-being versus one's ability to be vulnerable and intimate. All of those elements are complex aspects of life. And as we age, we have, I think, at least two options. One is to resign ourselves to say, this is as good as it's going to get, just settle in for the long haul, and just make it as peaceful as possible. The other is, hey, I'm 61 or 71 or 91, and I'm going to grow myself to the very end. I want to do whatever I can to keep growing myself, and I want to do that in partnership.
Right.
And I want to do that in a partnership, not to have somebody there to love me, but I want to know how I can be more open and vulnerable and intimate in communicating with my partner.
Right.
So Weconcile is a tool that you guys developed, you guys together, because I know it's mostly, Jennifer, you created it, but with and
Mike's my assistant.
I think I'm going to start taking more credit.
No.
I totally get that. So for those who are listening, what is, I'll take you one at a time. Mike, what is it that you want people in the world to know about being in relationship in your 70s and in this aging process as an aging guru?
Well, as an aging guru, I so appreciate my younger wife. I call her my little pack mule because my disease, I've got muscular dystrophy, and I really, I can't carry things. I have trouble going up steps. And so I think a lot of spouses might resent that disability. Jennifer does not resent it. I really feel cared for, and she's really looking out for me, and probably more than I have in my whole life, because my mother had 5 kids that my father didn't want, and I was the oldest, so I'm getting more mothering now at the age of 72 than I've ever had in my life. And
Yeah.
I love it.
Great. Awesome.
I don't call her mommy, but she is my supervisor in our vows when we got married.
And the wisdom to know the difference, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Mike, what you're saying is that what you appreciate about this time is you've got a partner that is a partner as opposed to just a roommate or a housemate. You have a partner that loves you and respects you and honors you, and the sacredness of the you-ness in that is that feels so exquisite. I mean, that's the word I would put
it was possible.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like it's possible. Keep going. Keep desiring that, and and do the work to get there.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jennifer,
do the work to get there is a big deal.
Do the work to get there. Yeah. And I saw, Mike, on your letterhead, it says, or on your signature, basically, be the change you want to see in the world. Right. Be that which you know can exist, and you have to do it first.
Right.
Somebody has to go first, like with vulnerability, right?
That's right.
Somebody has to go first with vulnerability, too.
That's right. And intimacy, yeah. Jennifer, what's your this is what I want the world to know about this process of being in marriage as we're aging, as you're aging?
I think that it's, I think there's things to appreciate at every age. And when you get older, there's a lot more wisdom. And so, Mike happens to have a fair amount of wisdom. And so that is, that's really nice to have a partner who has lived and seen things and is grounded and isn't out, wanting to go to the bars every night or whatever. It's just a different chapter. It's got a lot of calmness in it and a lot of contentment in
Beautiful.
it. And it's a different thing than, when you're younger and you're out doing things all the time.
Yeah.
So appreciating that cycle, appreciating the different cycles.
Beautiful. And quite often there's that point. I've got a client and their children are, first of all, they were little kids. So there was all the controllability to manage the kids. And now they're in their teenage years and there's less control and less sense of family. And now there's the transition into empty nesting. And it's like, who's this guy I've been parenting with? And I don't even know if we have anything in common. And that ability to, and the willingness to say, okay, what did I like about you in the beginning? What do I like about you now? And that new chapter of what can we build for ourselves now? Do we want to do the work or, do we want to exit?
Yeah.
If you're willing to do the work, Reconcile is an amazing blueprint for the work.
Cool. And I think, I see it as, okay, I don't want to invest in therapy at, this high price, whatever. We can begin with Reconcile. And if we want or need more support, we can go to a therapist or, find those connections where people will support that.
Program with Reconcile.
So we did create a clinician program, which just means that the clinician has access to the content, the exercise descriptions, and a guide where what you should be focusing on in each area of each step.
Great.
So that because there's a lot of clinicians out there who aren't well trained in couples work, which is quite different than individual work.
Yeah.
And so people can use it with or without a clinician. And
Great. And it's a great, like I said, like you guys said, I think it's a really good starting point. If you have an interest if you both have let's do something, let's start here.
Right.
And see where it goes. And if we want more support, there's more support.
Right. There's more support. It's interesting. One of the things that, I did a lot of beta testing and got a lot of feedback from the earlier users. And one of the things that, was repeated a lot was we're having discussions we would never have had.
Yeah.
So it's opening up, if you have a closed system and there's nothing new coming in, then nothing new happens. You have to open the system so something new can come in.
That's right.
And that's how we create change.
That's right. It's like what good old Einstein says, we can't solve our problems with the thinking that caused it in the first place.
Right.
We have to be able to be open and willingness to see and experience and know something beyond the constrained reality that we've been living in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for your listeners, Rosie, if they go to the We Consile website, there's a relationship quality survey. It takes 1 minute.
10 questions.
10 questions. And there's the audio for level 1. So they, without even signing up, they can listen to the level 1 reading and get a feeling for, is this going to help us? Can this
Great. So for me, the biggest,
restore our relationship?
say that again, we store?
Well, we call it a relationship restoration application.
Right.
Oh, we store. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
Well,
trying to be
I sound like Elmer Fudd. Then
Yeah,
we're going to we store or we wait.
I know. And we're going to we reconcile. Reconcile. So what I'm taking away from this is people who are in relationship and want that greater degree of partnership, that greater degree of expansiveness, and having a relationship that you don't think is possible. You know, it is possible, and it's really about you making some choices about wanting that. Right. And if you're with a partner that wants that, you know, I'm really happy for you. That's great. And do you want to take it to another level? And whether it's We Consile or something else, that's up to you. But that there are tools. But the point here is, hey, you can have fun no matter how old you are in getting, being married and loving each other and being happily ever after. That's the point of this whole conversation.
Right.
So,
woohoo!
You can. And some of it is, some of it's we're in this crazy fast go world. Yeah. It isn't very sustainable for relationships. You actually have to slow down and spend time. If you stay in the crazy, frenetic go, well, that doesn't keep you open to connecting. Yeah.
And it's like for you, Jennifer, saying, hey, I'm working on my career. It's like, well, how much of that takes you away from Mike? And Mike's doing stuff that he's having fun, and how much does that take away from? And it's like there's that balance or that split.
Right. There has to be the two circle overlap, the overlap where the two circles meet.
That's right. That's right. And it has to be enough that it supports and nourishes you both.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all agreement. And it's like what we mentioned before. It's like a conscious, intentional practice to stay in alignment and connect with your sweetie.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie.
And I will be talking to you again. You can bet on that. And I will have the We Consile connection. And if there's any other information you want me to pass on, just email me. But so don't go. Just stop. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Big hugs and blessings. And I'll connect with you again soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks, Rosie.